another Michael Jordan video. I don't know, this might be a Jordan marathon or something, because my last 4 videos has been about Jordan. But the last videos have been really good. You can check them out if you want. They're all Jordan videos. I think 3 out of the 4 is Jimmy Harler Jordan videos, so you can go check that out. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So yeah, definitely hit that subscribe button, that like button. Also comment. This video is called "It Took Michael Jordan 8 years to pull this off." So this is Jimmy Harler with his interesting titles, interesting captions, interesting thumbnails. The first time I seen the thumbnail, I had to click on it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna react to this. So yeah, let's get into this video. Graphics is kind of unbearable. I don't know. These graphics are terrible, but we'll get through it.
It's November 6th, 1990. The ringless 27-year-old Michael Jordan and his Bulls have gotten the season off to a slow start. Back-to-back losses, and now with time winding down against the Celtics, they are looking at their 3rd loss in a row. Not the most ideal way to kick off the season. But little did he know, this stretch of losses would go down as one of the most significant events in his entire career. Because for the next 2,777 days, Michael Jordan would never lose 3 games in a row again. What's up, everybody? It's Jim. Brothers, we need to talk. For years, Trap Sax has provided us with the most beautiful, inspiring background music we could ever ask for. It really hit home with its fat bass and smooth jazz riffs. But, unfortunately, the studio that owns the original sample from decades ago won't let us use it anymore. I know. I might as well just delete my channel now. But, as much as it hurts, we must rise and stand tall for our fallen brethren. So let's take a moment of silence for the incredible, the incomparable Trap Sax.
You know what's kind of weird though? This video is from 2019. Wait, I swear he was using it in his recent videos. So I don't know what happened with that. Maybe he must have like figured something out, and or they weren't copywriting his videos. Like I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he's been using it recently. So.
But if there's anything that can cheer a basketball fan up, it is a ridiculous, awesome Michael Jordan story. And boy, do I have just that.
HoneyBook is the one-stop shop, and I've been using them for years. HoneyBook is the hub.
Of all the accomplishments MJ had amassed in his 15-year career, possibly the most impressive and untouchable feat is one that you have probably never even heard of. A couple years ago, someone pointed out that from November 7th, 1990, up until the day Jordan won his 6th ring and hung up his Bulls jersey for good, he did not lose 3 consecutive games. That's 2,777 days without losing 3 games in a row. 500.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. So he never went on like a bad losing streak. Like never lost 3 games in a row. I can understand that because their team is probably like the best team of all time. The Bulls team. Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, if it was around that time. I think Dennis Rodman might have been later, but Kukoc. Yeah, they have some solid players on that team. Like, a good all-around team. So I can get that. Probably the best team of all time. But that's still crazy. The fact that he did not allow his team to lose more than three games straight. That's tough. That's very tough. To go through 2,777 games without losing 3 in a row, without going through a slump, basically. You lost 2 games in a row, all right. We're gonna bounce back. It happened every time. They always bounced back, always. It was never like a bad losing streak. That's crazy. That's difficult. That's not easy, especially playing against like the best players in the world. Even though they're the best team in the league always, they're still good. They're still like professional players at the end of the day. They're still the best players in the world at the end of the day, and you never lost 3 times in a row to like in your season ever, and in playoffs. Like, well, in playoffs that's not gonna happen with Jordan. Definitely not. Definitely not. Because if they lose 3 in a row, then the series is basically over. But when it's in the season, that's tough. But that's the Bulls team. That makes sense. Jordan probably wouldn't allow that, but it's still crazy.
100 regular season games, 126 playoff games, coming to a grand total of 626 matchups without a single 3-game losing streak. Now, when I first heard this, I was skeptical. I mean, a streak of this caliber sounds virtually impossible. In fact, mathematically, it is virtually impossible. But after further investigation, I'll be damned. This man really went 9 years, almost an entire decade, without taking 3 L's in a row. I'm searching, digging desperately to find out the truth surrounding this claim. And it is 100% fact. As if Mike didn't already have enough accomplishments. As if the man wasn't shitting on the competition bad enough, 2 decades after he laced up for the last time with the Bulls, and we are still uncovering pieces of his dominance.
Crazy.
To put the magnitude of this streak into perspective, in 2010, Ben Blatt of the Harvard Sports Analysis Collective crunched the numbers on such an absurd streak, and his calculations revealed some absolutely absurd numbers. The probability of an average NBA team accomplishing such a streak is, you ready for this? About 1 in 1 quadrillion, or 0.000000.
Wow, they're really the best team of all time. Chicago Bulls, like that team throughout the 6 years, like the 6 years of them winning those championships. All 6 years, the best teams of all time. Like, depends, like, the way they switched up the team a little bit. Rodman was there, a couple guys left or whatever. But with that core of Jordan, Pippen, I don't know who else was there for a while with them. Who stayed? I think Steve Kerr. Like, just that probably 5 or 6 players that's been there that's won all 6 championships with them. with that core and the coach, Phil Jackson, they were that dominant. Like, you just couldn't beat them. It's crazy. And this shows like their team is the best because no one else can do this. No one else can be that dominant. They're just that unique. Crazy.
2 hours
Numbers don't
later.
lie.
000166, which is a number so vast and so unlikely that there really isn't anything to compare it to.
Yeah.
For example, the odds of a high school basketball player making it to the NBA is about 1 in 3,200. Odds
Yeah.
of one day becoming an NBA champion are about 1 in 22,500. Odds of winning an Olympic gold medal are 1 in 662,000. And odds of winning the Powerball, 1 in 300 million.
Wow.
So, yeah. MJ pulling this off is mathematically by
Wow.
far his greatest accomplishment.
Yeah, for sure.
I was a good player,
For
but
sure.
something was holding me
That
back.
is so
Even
hard
with
to do.
programs I used, I just
You go
wasn't in
through
the game.
all those games
No.
and you don't lose 3 in a row. You don't go through a slump at all. 2 in a row, okay, and they bounce back. All right, I give you those 2 games. We're winning the game. The next game, we're never losing 3 in a row. That's crazy. Like, wow.
Now, you may be thinking,
That is
this
tough.
was a team effort rather than an individual one.
Yeah,
so
it's not
the
just
Bulls
Jordan.
should be getting credit as well.
Yes,
and
that's why I say the Bulls are the greatest. It's the greatest team of all time. I obviously like. If you watch my videos, I say that Jordan's the greatest of all time. But in this aspect, it's everybody. It's the whole team because Jordan can't just do it by himself. You also have Phil Jackson, and you have Scottie Pippen to help, and you have you have the core players. It's switched up throughout the years with the role players and stuff like that, but the whole like their formula and what they went out there and did, and the guidance they had from Phil Jackson, it just worked. It just worked, and they just didn't go through a slump. Like it always worked, and the numbers show. Numbers don't lie, and that's why I say this is the greatest team of all time. So for this stat, it's like wow. I'm looking at the team, and I'm like wow, this team is special. They had obviously they have the greatest player of all time, but you also have other players that just put it together, and the coach too, Phil Jackson. He has a lot to do with this too. Like, it's crazy.
Although this is a valid point, when you look into the numbers, you'll see that this isn't quite true. Due to Mike's first retirement and players coming and going, even MJ's own teammates don't have a streak like his. Although Dennis Rodman racked up one.
Okay, so what's Jordan's streak? But okay, it's Jordan's streak, but Jordan also had players around him to help that too, and he had Phil Jackson too. So it has a lot to do with him, for sure. He is that dominant, but the fact that he had players around him to help him do that too, like he would take over games, but he would also have Scottie Pippen to lock up the best player on the other team. Or Jordan can do that too, but Scottie Pippen sometimes he would take the load off of Jordan of what he has to do on the defensive end, and he'll lock up the best player, and Jordan will get busy on the offensive end, and yeah, and that's how their system worked sometimes, and I feel like he just had a lot of help, both sides of the floor. He had guys, he can pass the guys that could hit shots. He always had that. He had Ron Harper, who was a great defender. Bill Cartwright, he was decent. Craig Hodges, he was good. B.J. Armstrong, John Paxson, Horace Grant. Like they have some solid role players like throughout those years, but you can see that stat has a lot to do with Jordan, but the team that he had, you can just tell that the Bulls are the best team of all time, and Jordan is the best player of all time, just from those stats. So yeah.
Hell of a streak himself. Check out the current streaks of NBA teams in regards of games since their last 3 consecutive losses. Including the playoffs, no team has managed to go even 90 games without losing 3 in a row. In fact, only 6 teams have strung together more than 20 games without losing 3 consecutively. Look at how many teams have 0 games since their last 3-game losing streak.
Wow.
0. If you add up all the streaks from every NBA team, they still don't come close to Mike's 626. Absolutely insane.
That's
If
crazy.
we take a look at some of the more dominant teams in modern NBA history, you will continue to realize how difficult a streak like this truly is. Michael's streak spanned 8 years and 7 active seasons, and only came to an end because he retired. The reigning NBA champions, the Toronto Raptors, lost 3 in a row just this past season in November. The three-peat Lakers lost 3 games in a row in February of 2002, nearly 3 years after their streak began. Throughout the last 5 years, the Warriors have been the winningest team over any 5-year stretch in NBA history, and even they lost 3 games in a row on 4 different occasions throughout this 5-year stretch, including the infamous
Jordan wouldn't let that happen. That's what this video is about. Jordan would not let that happen. He would not let a team beat him when he's up 3-1. He would not lose 3 games in a row. So that's what makes Jordan special, because he would not allow those things to happen. So there's a lot of players. There's a good amount of players that probably wouldn't allow that to happen. LeBron, Kobe, Jordan. Magic probably wouldn't allow that to happen. I was surprised Curry allowed that to happen, but then again, you're going against LeBron, so what could you really do? I think LeBron's the second best player of all time. Some people argue that he's the best player of all time, so I disagree with that. But a lot of people think he's the greatest player of all time. So once you're going against that, 6'8" to 60, and he can move like that, he can pass the ball, you can shoot, you can block, you can do all these things, you can do everything on the court. Going against that, that's tough. So I do blame Steph, but it's still tough. It's still tough because LeBron was on a different. He was on a mission. He was on a mission for sure. He was on a mission, and I guess Golden State got relaxed, and you can't get relaxed with LeBron. Honestly, LeBron and Kyrie and those guys and Kevin Love, you can't get relaxed with those guys. So, but what I'm trying to say is that like Jordan would not allow that to happen, and it shows that Jordan's special. Like things like this happen to people, 3 L's in a row in the playoffs. We all know Jordan not gonna allow it to happen. Jordan never lost. He hasn't lost 3 games in a row in the season. That's insane. And there's 81 games in the season. So each season he goes through, he did not lose 3 games in a row. Like, it's crazy. Through that span of time, so.
Creating a simple website conversion funnel in Google Analytics feels like a Reedy. It takes.
You guys are GOAT. I knew he was on the best team
No,
of all
don't
time.
get it twisted. There were a few occasions where Jordan's streak nearly came to an end.
Yeah.
Like on April 9th, 1991, when the Bulls beat the Knicks by just 2 points after losing their previous
But he
2
did
games.
not allow it to happen.
Or on February 1st, 1993, when they escaped in a 4-point victory over the Jazz. Here's a game from 1996 when the Bulls edged out the Warriors by just 4 points. Jordan dropped 40, and by the way he was playing, he was not gonna lose that game. And then finally on June 11th, 1997, when the Jazz nearly beat the Bulls 3 times in a row in the NBA Finals. Of course, Jordan wasn't gonna let this happen, so he dropped 38 and Chicago won by 2. And when you look at the numbers in these potential streak-ending games, it's almost like Jordan knew he had this streak going and was ready to go to any lengths to not see it come to an end. That, or the more likely fact that MJ was the ultimate competitor, and anytime he lost back-to-back games, he came out locked and loaded, ready to absolutely bury anyone who stood in front of him. So knowing the player MJ was, this isn't too surprising. But when you take a closer look at the numbers, assess the astronomical odds of this feat, it's hard not to be amazed. And I find myself saying this after every single Michael Jordan video, but what else should we expect? I'll leave y'all with this. Here is a chart showing streaks of games without 3 consecutive losses by all-time NBA greats and current stars. These are streaks held by some of the best players,
And Jordan's gonna be all the way at the top.
Of all time on historical teams. Towards the bottom, you'll see Giannis, Harden. Durant has had a decent streak of his own at
All the way
181
up
games. If you go up the list, you'll see Shaq, Kobe, and Steph floating around
All the way.
300.
Keep going. Keep going.
And way
Keep
up there at
going.
the top,
Keep going.
all alone,
Keep going. 620s.
is Michael Jordan in a league of his own.
League of his own. He separates himself from everybody.
Now, before I
He's
let
the
y'all
GOAT.
go, a good friend of mine recently started a YouTube channel similar to mine, but with football. It's called Defying, and he breaks down crazy stories, interesting events, and gets into some of the finer details you never knew before. If you enjoy my channel and you are a fan of the NFL, college football, and even high school football, check out his channel. We have some projects we'll be working on together in the future. Dude really knows his stuff. Check out his channel, show him some love. Man's has some good stuff. But that's gonna be it for this video. Stay tuned, big stuff going on over the next couple weeks. Love y'all, and until next time.
That was a tough video. Yeah, that was tough. 100%. Wow. Well, 2 points I said throughout the video. It proves that the Bulls are the greatest team of all time, and Jordan's the GOAT. Simple. Simple. It's a fact. But, yeah, like I said, it was a great video. If you want me to react to more videos like this, hit me up in the comments, my DM at @night_tie on Instagram. Yeah, like I said in the start of the video, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So yeah, tap that subscribe button, tap the notification button to be notified when I post. Stay blessed, stay lit, and I'm out.
Look, I know my actions speak louder than me. They gon' always try to hate on what you trying to be. Then when you make it, try to tell you that they always believed. All they do is deceive. Then when you fall, all of a sudden they leave.